Hey gang, we wanted to do a little video at the end, the Jim and Jim show at the end of our course.
I'm Jim, he's Jim.
Uh, Either way it works. And we just wanted to, first of all, just thank you for allowing us the opportunity to do our first course, team teaching, uh, allowing us to do what we do best. And both of us have been greatly impressed with the manner in which you have done the work. The discussions have been wonderful. It's been great to see you interact with each other, and we have really appreciated the diligence that is evident in your work during these weeks.
Yeah, I just want to echo what he said. You guys have worked really hard. You've done a really good job. I hope you've learned a lot. I hope you've really come to appreciate the idea of theology in an urban context, what urban ministry is all about, and that it's more than just the traditional stereotypes. It really involves us all.
One of the things I think is evident, and I'm sure you've picked up on this, is that probably the biggest piece of urban theology is the necessity to think through what it is that we do in ministry. Not only what we do in ministry, but even why we do what we are doing. And I think in particular, following up what you did in the first few weeks with Dr. Gifford, dealing with the theology specifically, to then spend the next 3 weeks talking about core values was, in my opinion, a good way to apply what you had done in theology to now how do you make that fit with what we actually do in practice.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that helps you in your individual ministries as well. I know I'd read Dr. Peter's book before, but some of you know that I pastor a church, and it even led me to the place of articulating what our core values are as a ministry. We have a mission statement and a vision statement, but it became apparent that our members don't memorize those statements.
Not usually,
They
no.
couldn't tell people what they are, but they could latch hold of what we did, 4 core values that sort of capsulize that. And so I think his core values was a good way to try to uh, put some handles on this so we can carry it in ministry. And I hope you all found it that way as well.
Yeah, and coming from my point of view, from the academic world, the academics without the practical side is useless when it comes to theology and living in a life in relationship to God, because we don't live lives in isolation and in just theory only. We have to live it out, and it has to be practical. So I think that I've enjoyed working with Dr. Logan and meshing these two things together, and I hope it's been valuable for you too.
And I hope also, just listening, not listening, but reading your discussion posts, that some of you may have fallen in love with theology, and this has whetted your appetite to do more work in this particular area. I think a lot of Christians tend to just do what they do because that's what always has been done, without any real intentionality. And I think you've developed some intentionality that I hope will carry over, not just in the remainder of your schoolwork, but also in your individual ministries, particularly for those of you who are in ministry or who plan to be in ministry going forth. So we wanted to just have an opportunity to say thank you, draw this together. This is what we do as an institution. Urban theology is at the core of what we do. I know there was some sentiment that, you know, maybe an urban theology wasn't necessary, that maybe it's a methodology, but there's no way to get around the fact that regardless of what is done in ministry, we look at theology, we study God through different lenses. And clearly, when you are doing ministry within the city context, the urban context, is a completely different lens through which you see things. Same God, same word, but a different lens in terms of how we apply it and how we make sense out of what we do.
And we get so much better at doing what we do when we realize that there are those lenses. It's the goal of education to help us to see that we don't look on these things without our own filters, and those filters really cause us to see things the way we see them. And it's good, even if it's not your filter, to be aware that other filters exist, and that makes you more self-aware of your own, because everybody has one, and the wise person learns to live within those limitations. You can't get rid of it, you just have to learn to live with it. And if you don't know it's there, you can't live with it.
Absolutely. So this is our last week. Want you to finish strong. You have some work to do. Some of you have some catching up to do on work. For the bad news, you really have to get it done this week.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's the reality of it. We do have to apply grades. As wonderfully as you have done, there's still work that needs to be done. So finish strong. Get your work into us so that we can get you the grades and get you a grade that reflects what you have done in the course of this semester. For those of you who will be going on in other courses, we look forward to seeing you in other courses that we will teach individually down the line. For those of you that are completing, like America Green, for instance, we've appreciated having you as a student, and we wish you well down the line. Consider the master's program.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.